I have this delicious, amazing chicken stock here, homemade from actually chicken and turkey bones to use. Now, one of the ways I really love to use homemade stock is to make fondant potatoes. So those are pieces of potato fried until they're crispy and then simmered in stock, which is boiled away to like a sticky, herby gravy. Delicious. But what if the dish you're already having has got potatoes in it? So we've got shepherd's pie for dinner. This one I had in the freezer, actually, just going to reheat that in the oven. Obviously I don't want fondant potatoes with a dish that's already got potatoes in it. So what are we going to do instead? Well, how about trying this girthy carrot and a parsnip. I got a bit of celeriac as well. So this chicken stock, I'm just going to show you something about this, look. So this wobbly chicken stock is made by boiling chicken bones and some vegetable trimmings, and we had a turkey bone in there as well, in the pressure cooker until all the goodness and flavour comes out of the bones, and that's what we've got. So lovely stock. I'll just put that aside, even though that is a fascinating thing to play with. And we'll get the vegetables peeled. So carrot and parsnip peeled, and I'll just top and tail those. And then I suppose I've got to think about the size of pieces I want. Now with carrots that's fairly easy because I can cut that into pieces like that. That's probably about the size of what a fondant potato would be anyway. So we'll cut a few like that. This one here is going to be for me to snack on while we're doing the other bits. Now parsnip is going to have to be cut into pieces because it's bigger. Those look about the right size pieces. And celeriac, now I didn't have a whole one of these. This is just a piece I've got left over. And again, we'll try and cut similar size pieces. So I think maybe there and there. And then there. Right, so there we go. That is all of the vegetables ready to attempt to fondant. Now when I cooked the turkey leg that the bone came from to make the stock, there was also some fat that rendered out of it. So this is turkey fat, which I'm certain is going to give it a lovely flavour. It's probably not quite enough fat there though. So we'll also have a bit of olive oil in there as well. Right, now that is hot, my pieces of vegetable are going to go in there. So I've got to fry these and then turn them so that they get a bit of crisping up on all of the flat faces. Meanwhile, let's talk about other flavours. So I've got here some savoury, sage, thyme and parsley. Almost Scarborough Fare. In fact, almost the original Scarborough Fare. Did you know the original Scarborough Fare was savoury sage, rosemary and thyme? And a small onion. And I'm going to dice this very small. And this I'll add in the kind of midpoint of frying the vegetables. Speaking of which, let's see what's happening over here. So, yeah, a little bit of crisping happening on the parsnips. Same thing on the carrots. And celeriac. Not quite ready to turn yet. I'm just going to give those a little jiggle. Just to make sure they've got the kind of fat underneath them, which is the thing that's going to do the browning. Time to start turning things over now. Looking pretty good actually. So everything that's been fried on one of its cut sides needs to get fried on the other cut sides. Now actually I've cut those onions quite small, so I'm not going to put those onions in just yet. Alright, I think we might be nearly done on side 2. We are nearly done on side 2. Yep. And now those onions can go in. Now, I don't think those are going to take very long before they burn. So I'll keep an eye on this. Yeah, that onion's only taken about 2 minutes and it's nearly there. So, onion to one side slightly. I'm just going to roughly rip up these herbs. I'm putting the woody bits in as well because we can pick them out. Just tearing up the savoury and sage there. And the thyme can also go in there again. And again, I'm putting twigs in as well because we can fish them out later. I'm going to give those a little sizzle in that oil. Just because a gentle bit of frying there will help to release those oil-based flavours from these herbs. But I will stop short of burning them. And then we're ready for the stock. stirring it around now because I want those herbs to be evenly distributed amongst the other things, and the onions too. I think we're going to cook this on the hob here. Often with fondant potatoes, you'd put them in the oven at this stage. You'd bring this stock to the boil and then put it in the oven. I think I'm just going to do this on the top here. So lid on, and we'll let that come to a simmer. Now some of these vegetables, especially the carrots, will take a little bit more cooking than potatoes would. So I'm going to simmer this with a lid on for maybe 10 minutes, and then I'll take it off once the vegetables have started to go tender, because then I can take it off and reduce that stock down. Now, however, is the time for a little bit of salt in there. Not too much, because this stock is going to be reduced and concentrated. All right, time has elapsed. I'm just going to have a look. Yeah, those carrots, some of the things are softer than others. Parsnips and celeriac are cooking quicker than the carrots. However, it's now time to take that off, let that start reducing. Okay, further time has elapsed, and yeah, these carrots are tender now. All of the vegetables are nice and tender. I might just turn that piece over. Some of the thicker pieces just didn't quite go at the top. So this is now going to go on the back burner while I just find some sort of green vegetable to steam. Everything's nearly ready now, so the parsley, I haven't forgotten the parsley. That's all going to go in there now. Move things around a little bit so that parsley gets infused into that sauce that's there, and so we get an even coating on everything. There we go. Okay, time now to plate up. So some of this homemade shepherd's pie, and a little bit of steamed spring cabbage, and then just to finish that all off, a little bit of this delicious, really ultra reduced stock. This is almost like a demi-glace at this point. This is like a litre of stock reduced down to a cupful, if you'll pardon me mixing units there. Okay, well, there we go. So the question is, did we succeed in making fondant root vegetables? So that's a piece of parsnip there. Beautifully tender. Very good. Carrot. Again. Beautifully tender. So sweet when it's cooked like that. And celeriac. That really works. It's a little bit lighter than fondant potatoes, but kind of satisfying in different ways. These are actually quite interesting because they're kind of sticky. There's a real deep sweetness here that you don't get from fondant potatoes, and that gloriously sticky, herby, oniony, savoury sauce that coats them is just lovely. So, fondant root vegetables. I hope this has been interesting. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.